Have you ever wondered how many things must go exactly right for a plane to take off and land safely? The world of aviation is a complex dance of precision and protocol, from the mechanics of the aircraft, the acumen of the pilots, to the vigilance of air traffic controllers and even the whims of the weather. Every factor plays a pivotal role in getting us from point A to point B safely. However, despite this intricate interplay of factors, the aviation industry boasts an impressive record of safety. Yet there are instances when things do not go as planned, when the unseen dangers in the sky catch us off guard. One such case is the incident of Flight 421 Garuda Indonesia, a routine flight that turned into a stark reminder of the risks that can lurk in the seemingly serene skies. On January 16, 2002, the unexpected happened. Flight 421 Garuda Indonesia took off from Ampenan on the island of Lombok, heading for Yogyakarta. It was just another day for the crew and passengers aboard the Boeing 737. The sky was clear, the winds were calm, and the plane hummed along at its cruising altitude. The aircraft was in the capable hands of an experienced crew. Commanding the flight was a seasoned pilot with thousands of hours in the cockpit, and by his side, a competent co-pilot. The cabin crew, well-trained and professional, attended to the needs of the 145 passengers on board. Men, women, and children, each with their own stories, were comfortably settled into their seats, blissfully unaware of the events that were about to unfold. The flight was far from ordinary. It was a journey that would become etched in the annals of aviation history. Little did they know, their flight was about to take an unexpected turn. As the Boeing 737 sliced through the calm skies, the crew managed the controls with practiced ease. The flight attendants moved down the aisles, checking on passengers, their faces reflecting the serenity of the flight. Everything seemed perfectly normal, just another day in the sky. But aviation, like life, can sometimes be unpredictable. The weather can change in an instant, and so too can the fate of a flight. The ordinary can quickly become extraordinary, and this flight was about to prove just that. As the plane approached its destination, things took a turn for the worse. The skies darkened, and the once smooth journey began to encounter turbulence. This was not just a regular flight. This was Flight 421 Garuda Indonesia, a flight that would be remembered, not for its takeoff or its journey, but for its dramatic and unexpected descent. As the plane began its descent, the weather took a sudden and dramatic turn. The sky, once clear, was now filled with ominous clouds, unleashing a torrent of rain that hammered against the fuselage. It was in these challenging conditions that the true crisis began to unfold. In the midst of the heavy downpour, the engines of Flight 421 began to falter. The culprit? An unexpected ingestion of water from the brutal rainfall. This is a known risk in aviation, but it rarely culminates in a full-blown crisis. Yet on this fateful day, the engines of the Garuda Indonesia Flight 421 began to cough and splutter, struggling to perform under the influx of water. As the engines started to fail, the cockpit turned into a frenzied hive of activity. The pilots, experienced and well-trained, immediately sprung into action, attempting to restart the engines mid-air. Their hands danced over the controls. Their voices echoed in the radio transmissions. Their minds raced to find a solution. But the engines, once roaring with power, remained ominously silent, refusing to come back to life. With the engines non-responsive, the plane began to lose altitude, descending rapidly towards the earth below. The pilots fought against the laws of physics, trying to keep the plane aloft, to find a safe place to land in the midst of the storm. They were engaged in a battle against time and nature, a battle they were determined to win, but despite their relentless efforts, the pilots were soon faced with the harsh reality. The plane was going down. The terrain below offered no safe haven for an emergency landing. Their only option was the wide expanse of the Bengawan Solo River. Despite their best efforts, the pilots were unable to prevent the plane from ditching into the Bengawan Solo River. It was a desperate measure, a last-ditch effort to save the lives of those on board. This was the unfolding crisis of Flight 421, a harrowing tale of man versus nature in the unforgiving realm of the sky. The plane hit the water, breaking apart on impact, but this was not the end. In the wake of the devastating crash, a flurry of activity ensued. Rescue operations were launched almost immediately, with local fishermen being among the first responders at the scene. Their quick thinking and immediate action played a pivotal role in saving lives that fateful day. Survivor stories began to emerge, each more harrowing than the last. Passengers spoke of the terrifying moments as the plane descended, the impact and the chaotic scramble for survival that followed. Amidst the fear and confusion, there were also tales of courage and humanity, passengers helping each other, strangers becoming lifelines, and the incredible resilience of the human spirit shone through the darkness of tragedy. The immediate aftermath of the crash was a time of shock and mourning. The casualty figures were staggering. Out of the 60 people on board, only one did not survive. The loss of life was a harsh reminder of the unforgiving nature of aviation disasters. Garuda Indonesia, the airline responsible for Flight 421, was quick to respond. They offered their deepest sympathies to the victims and their families, promising full cooperation with the ensuing investigations. They also pledged to review their safety procedures to prevent such incidents in the future. The company's immediate response was a crucial step towards addressing the tragedy and ensuring accountability. The crash of Flight 421 was more than just an aviation disaster. It was a stark reminder of the inherent risks associated with air travel. Yet, in the face of such adversity, it also showcased the strength of human resilience, the power of community, and the unwavering commitment to safety by those in the aviation industry. The crash of Flight 421 was a tragic event that shook the world of aviation. In the wake of the crash, an extensive investigation was launched to determine what went wrong. The scrutiny was intense and meticulous, as investigators sifted through the wreckage and analyzed data to piece together the tragic puzzle. The findings were startling. Weather, often a culprit in aviation disasters, indeed played a pivotal role. A sudden and violent downdraft, known as a microburst, had swept the aircraft from its intended path. The plane, caught in the invisible clutches of nature's wrath, was at the mercy of forces beyond human control. But the weather wasn't the only factor. The investigation also pointed a finger at the engine design. It was found that the aircraft's power plants were not robust enough to withstand the extreme conditions they encountered that fateful day. This revelation sent shockwaves through the aviation industry, prompting a comprehensive re-evaluation of engine design standards. In response to the disaster, significant changes were made in the aviation industry. Airlines and manufacturers alike re-examined their procedures and designs, particularly those relating to engine robustness and weather resilience. The tragedy spurred a renewed focus on safety, leading to the implementation of more stringent checks and better training for flight crews to handle extreme weather conditions. The investigation, while painful, was necessary. It was a process of learning from mistakes, of turning a tragic loss into a catalyst for change. The legacy of Flight 421 is one of lessons learned the hard way, of an industry forced to confront its flaws and shortcomings. Indeed, the crash of Flight 421 serves as a sobering reminder of the importance of aviation safety. It stands as a testament to the relentless pursuit of safer skies, reminding us that in the world of aviation, complacency can come at a deadly cost. So, what can we take away from the tragic crash of Flight 421 Garuda Indonesia? This tale of tragedy, poignant as it is, serves as a stark reminder of the significance of aviation safety. It underlines the need for constant vigilance and regular updates to safety protocols. The flight, which started as any other, met an unfortunate end due to a confluence of unfavorable factors. These factors, each significant in their own right, merged to form the perfect storm, leading to the crash of Flight 421. In the aftermath, a thorough investigation was conducted, revealing key insights. These findings led to the implementation of stringent measures to prevent a recurrence of such a disaster. The aviation industry learned, adapted, and evolved, putting in place safety nets to protect lives in the future. While the loss of life can never be undone, the lessons learned from this incident have been instrumental in preventing further loss. The aviation industry is safer today because of the changes implemented in the wake of this accident. While we cannot change the past, we can learn from it to ensure the safety of future flights. Because every life matters, every flight counts.